Hi, crafty friends. You guys, I found quite possibly the coolest napkins ever. So, do you guys know Mackenzie Child stuff? So these are her napkins. They're just paper ones. And I thought, man, we can craft with these. So I know a lot of you are going to say, where did you get those, Bonnie? I got them off of Amazon. Unfortunately, they are not in stock right now, but I bet they come back really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off two of the plies, and then I'm going to cut the napkin in half. So I've had this little flower pot from IKEA, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. We are going to add this to the bottom of it, and then we'll just Mod Podge it right in there. And then we're going to add, you can see that the napkins are lined with gold, or the edges is like gold color. So I thought, ooh, let's take some Rub and Buff and add some more to it once we do that. So once I finally get this jar open, listen, do y'all have this problem with Mod Podge? I've tried the Vaseline trick around the edges, but still it loves to glue itself shut. Yeah, hi. Tell me in the comments, are you as bad as I am of getting these jars open? Holy mackerel, it is like, it's crazy some days. Anyways, all right, so let's just go. I'm going to do a little bit of Mod Podge at a time. These are these little metal, like I said, containers from IKEA, but this is why I trimmed it, just a half of the napkin. These napkins are huge, by the way, so we'll save the other half for another project. But I am just going to, there's kind of a lip that I'm kind of going right up against right there, and then I was like, ooh, if I just match it right up with that lip, then I can go ahead and start, with the Rub and Buff on the bottom and work my way around. So once it's all dried up, we're going to do a little bit of sandpaper, just getting everything cleaned off of that edge. That is such an easy way to do it. And then I put my glove on, got out some of the Rub and Buff, because y'all know this is my favorite thing to craft with. And I'm just going to go all along the bottom and a little bit on the top as well. But look how adorable this is. Gosh, I love this. All right, project number 2. I got a decorative flower at little metal, faux metal. I say they're metal. Yeah. Why I said faux, I don't know. I guess, anyways, love me through it. But we are just going to coat this with white paint and let that dry. So remember, when you take all the plies off of napkins, you're going to see that background color. So I wanted to make sure we didn't see the purple, even though on these napkins, you do see a little bit of purple and a little bit of red streaks along with the gold, which is super cool as well. So I'm going to do one petal at a time, just to make it easy and more manageable. So I'd kind of do one on one side, go to the other side. And I kind of turned the napkins too, so that everything wasn't going in the same direction, just to kind of like break it up a little bit. Now this one was a little bit time consuming, but friends, once you just cut off all the extra, once the Mod Podge dries, I just grabbed a nail file and just filed off those edges. So that was easy peasy. So really the most, I think the dry time on this one was the most lengthy of the process. And then there's really nothing on the inside part of the flower. So I've got this little jar that's like full of like old kind of like rhinestoney looking kind of things and buttons and all sorts of stuff. So I was like, ooh, let me grab something out of there just to put in the center, just to kind of make that center pop, since it is 3 leaves in the middle to the flower. But again, there's nothing in the center to kind of anchor it. So I thought that would be cool. If you have not used nail files to craft with, especially when you are going in little areas like I am, in between the petals and stuff, it works so good, friends. And they're super duper cheap, and they do the trick. So definitely, if you haven't tried that before, do it, because it's great. But are y'all obsessed with these napkins like I am? Oh my gosh. I just think these are so stinking cool. And I love that when you got that white background, it kind of gives that cream look. So that's super cool. But I am going to do a project, wait till the end, because I am going to do a project and I'm not going to paint the back. And the way it came out was cool. But look at this flower. I love it. All right, project number 3, wall decor. So I've got this old picture frame. I took the inside out. We're going to remove the plies again on that. And then I'm just going to Mod Podge that straight to this backer sheet. If you wanted to, you could, if you didn't have a backer sheet, like in an old frame or something like that, you could use a piece of cardboard, whatever you want. And we will just put the napkin down. And then once I laid the napkin down and got it all laid out, I went ahead and did another coat over the top of this. And then I remembered when I was doing this, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I have those really cool wall sticker flowers from Dollar Tree. So I was like, oh, let's add a little bit of that to this. So that's what we're going to do. So again, we're going to get this all laid out. We're going to put a coat of the Mod Podge over the top, just to kind of seal it in, sand off our edges, bada bing, bada boom, and it's ready to go. And then once that's drying, I went and grabbed out those flowers. And have any of you crafted with these big wall decor pieces, stickers? They are really stickers, from the Dollar Tree. They are so awesome, and they're huge, which I love. So I was like, let's just go right over the top of this. And then I was like, as I was doing it, I was like, ooh, I could even almost kind of like dry brush some gold over it just to kind of give it another layer. You could totally do that if you wanted. Or you could just put a coat of Mod Podge right over the top of it. But I love that napkin coming through on the back and then having this color on the top. Oh, I just love everything about this. So if you didn't have these flowers, you could easily watercolor if you wanted to. You could paint. Listen, I'm not a good painter or a good watercolorer. I want to believe I am, but I'm not really. So I thought, man, this is easy peasy. But look at this in the frame. Gosh, I love, 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 love. All right, next project. We are going to use one of those, like, they're a plastic cake plate from the Dollar Tree. And I love the scalloped edges on this. I also like on the bottom of it, it has a little bit of a lip. So when it sits, it's not flat down to the ground. But also you could put this on a pedestal and that would be super cool. So I'm just going right over the top of this because the back won't work just because of that ledge. If you were just doing a regular plate, I would do it on the back and use dishwasher. No, not dishwasher. Yeah, dishwasher Mod Podge. Is that what gosh. Why don't I remember these things? But again, mine's going over the top, so I'm still going to use it. I'm not going to put food on this. If I was going to put food, I could actually put down like a little paper doily or something like that, so that way the food's not touching that, but it could just be something purely decorative. But I love this scalloped edge so much, so I thought once we get this napkin down and then we put another coat of the Mod Podge over the top, we are going to sand off that edge because it's like the little scallops. So once everything got dried up and I went to start to sand this, first I used my sanding block and I was like, this is a little bit too big and too clunky. So I grabbed out my nail file and that worked really, really good. So I just went all the way around. And then, like I said, if you wanted this to sit, because it has those little kind of built-in feet all the way around, you could totally do that. But I thought, oh man, I got a couple of those black candle holders from the Dollar Tree. They're wood. And I thought, man, wouldn't this be cool to turn it into a riser? And then you see that decorative edge. So however you want to do it, but look how adorable it's turned out. Man, I love it. Love it so much. All right, so here's the last project. These are the decorative boxes, and you can see this one's like a bright kind of orangish red. There's also a purple one. But again, in those napkins, when you get up close, you can see those colors. So I thought, I'm not going to paint this. Let's just take off the plies and go straight over the top of these boxes. Like I said, this is like the perfect thing for when you're like, oh, wait a minute, but does it matter if it's a white background or cream or something like that? This is, because it totally changed the napkins, how they look. But oh my gosh, when they dried, I was like, stop it. So cool. And then I was like, ooh, let's add like some decorative hardware on this too. I had bought these little like tiny poles or like little miniature ones a while back. And I thought, let's put those on there. And sometimes I love having just decorative boxes because you can store stuff in there and make it part of a vignette or something like that. But all I did was I just Mod Podge it down and then I just cut it out and then folded everything inside. I did that on the bottom of the box too. And then once everything was dry, I just put the lids back on top of them. But look at that coming through. Isn't that super cool? And this color with the purple together, holy moly. I'm digging this a lot. It's so much fun. And I thought, man, these are just, like I said, things that you could like hide a little knickknack in, or even in my craft room, I was like, oh, I could put some sewing stuff in there and no one would be the wiser. So again, just showing you here with the purple box, we're doing that exact same thing. We're just going to Mod Podge it into place and then Mod Podge the napkin around itself. And then here's those little poles that I found, and they're adorable, but I'm like, we need to change the color because they need to be gold. So I grabbed out some Rub and Buff and put that on there, and then we will just hot glue those right on the boxes. And friends, I hope this has inspired you to grab some napkins and just make some really fun decor pieces, because you just never know what napkins can do. I mean, it's just so awesome. It's one of my favorite things to craft with. So here's how these boxes turned out. Don't forget to subscribe for more.